This video is going to give you some tips and tricks on how to approach secret and advised topics. So coming up in round 3 of this year's competition, we have A and B grade having secret topics and C grade has an advised topic. So that means basically they've been given a broad topic but not a more specific topic. So they have a sort of a topic area that they'll need to prepare for. So some of you might be feeling a little bit apprehensive about secret topic debates, particularly if you haven't done one or haven't done many before. So this video is going to give you some tips and tricks for approaching that, and also some sort of suggestions of best practice on how to utilize your time. So first of all, well, what is a secret topic? Basically, it means that you get to the school, you get to Brighton Grammar an hour before you would usually debate. At this point, the debating topic will be released. You will already know in advance whether you're affirmative or negative just by looking through the usual means, by looking on the draw. So the topic is released an hour beforehand. You have that hour to prepare for the debate. And then everything else is usual from there. So you still go to your room, you debate, get the adjudication, and so on and so forth. So some things to be mindful of. As I said, the topics are released an hour before you usually debate. So they're released at 7 p.m. for A grade and 6 p.m. for B and C grade. So you must be on time. This is really, really, really important. You must arrive before topics are released because they have to ensure that that happens, because if you are late, there is some potential that you've already learned of the topic and done some extra research. So they will not let you prepare for the debate if you arrive late. You must be there on time. So my best suggestion is to aim to arrive 15 minutes before you need to. So that would be at 6:45 for A grade and at 5:45 for B and C grade. So that you are given ample time and there is no situation that you will be put in of having to put in a last minute forfeit. The other thing to keep in mind is that at the end of your preparation time, so as you approach 8 p.m. for A grade or as you approach 7 p.m. for B and C grade, you must leave yourself 5 minutes to get to the debate, because if you arrive at the debate room more than 5 minutes after the scheduled start of the debate time, you will forfeit. So if you arrive in your room, for instance, at 8:05 for A grade, you will be expected to forfeit that debate. So punctuality is particularly important with secret and advised topics. So in terms of how you actually prepare for this debate, it is a little bit tricky. You cannot take in any electronic devices as you prepare for the debate. So that means no iPads, no iPhones, no laptops are allowed. You can take in anything in hard copy. So while I wouldn't suggest then taking in, every textbook you have for every subject and a giant stack of newspapers, it can be useful to take in some resource material. Now, the library does have some sort of guides to general topics. So if you go to the library and ask one of the librarians about these sort of general issues books, they can be useful if you can get your hands on them. Obviously, they might be in high demand. Otherwise, it can be useful just to sort of be keeping on top of sort of current events and just bring in some articles about sort of hotly debated issues at the time, because generally the the topics that are posed will reflect some sort of current world issue. So I do suggest taking at least something in hard copy. Up to 5 teammates can prepare together for the topic. Obviously, you just have the normal number of speakers. So in terms of how you might utilize your time, I do suggest that you do segment your time and allocate it to particular to particular tasks. So think of it like as a timetable within that 1 hour of preparation. So it's really, really, really important that you spend time considering the topic and brainstorming the topic. So if you were preparing for a normal debate, you would probably spend at least 20 minutes, usually more, usually a whole lunchtime or more than that, considering the topic, brainstorming the topic, considering your best arguments. That time should not be neglected in a secret topic debate. And sometimes the compulsion is to begin writing straight away, to decide on arguments and team splits very, very quickly so that you can spend the rest of your time writing out your debate. That is not what is recommended. And the reason for that is, even if you stand up and you don't have a perfectly prepared speech, so you might lose your wording at times, you may get a little bit lost. If you have a genuine understanding of your arguments, and if you have a genuine understanding of your team's arguments and your team line, even though you may stumble a little bit and your manner may not be perfect, your matter and method will be far, far, far more developed and far better because your speech will reflect that deep understanding rather than reflecting just a really well-written speech. So as you can see on this slide, we actually suggest that you spend 10 minutes brainstorming and then 10 minutes discussing and deciding on the team split. So that means a total of 20 minutes, so a third of that time should be spent simply discussing and jotting down ideas and jotting down notes with your group. And I really cannot stress this enough. I would then suggest spending 20 minutes actually preparing your speech. Now, I wouldn't write that out in full sort of longhand. I would just be writing out dot points. As I said, the adjudicators don't expect your manner to be as polished as in a prepared debate. What they're looking for is a genuine engagement with the topic and a genuine engagement with those ideas. So don't feel that you have to, that your presentation and your manner has to be perfectly polished because the adjudicators are understanding of the fact that this is a secret topic or an advised topic debate. After you've prepared your speeches, you should then reconvene as a team, be comparing speeches and anticipating rebuttals, making sure that you have that really sound method, making sure that your argument makes sense as a team, not just individually, because remember, debating is a team sport. You are trying to win as a group. That should give you 5 minutes to practice your speech. So that is obviously also buffer time. Obviously, practicing is an ideal situation. If you don't get the time to practice, it's not the end of the world. But by setting aside that 5 minutes to practice, you can ensure that you will have a little bit of time left over if you've sort of accidentally gone over on some of your other tasks. And that also then gives you 5 minutes to be moving to the room. So just as I was saying in the last slide, don't neglect the brainstorming phase. This is really, really crucial to your method, but also to your matter. And also, as I said, do only write out dot points. Don't write out your speech in full. You may wish to write out the first and last sentence of a point or of your speech just to give you that little security blanket. But that is the absolute most that you should be doing. I would also direct you to the DAV's resource guide, the secret topic resource guide that they have. They have a whole number of do's and don'ts on there. I'm not going to go through them because it's that is a resource that's available for you to draw on yourself. So if you just Google DAV Schools Competition Secret Topic Resource Guide, you should be able to find it. Otherwise, I've also provided the link there for you, and I will provide it as well in the description. But that is direct from the DAV, direct from the adjudicators who will be judging your debate. So certainly some worthwhile suggestions there. So if this isn't your first time doing secret topics, you've done them before, you might be wondering, well, we didn't do so crash hot last time, how can we improve? There is no secret to doing well at secret topics other than just practicing. It's really, really important that you have a go at sitting down with an unseen topic and considering with your team how you would approach it, setting yourself that time limit of an hour. I really suggest doing that at some point between now and the secret topic debate. If you can organise a time with your coach, fantastic. If you can't, I would still suggest doing it just as a team to see how you go. The other thing is that it's really, really important that you brush up on your general knowledge. What's happening in the world at the moment? So the best debaters are not those who shut themselves off from the world and just focus on, their schoolwork and their social lives and what's happening in ACS sport, but those that are reading newspapers, watching the news, listening to informative radio. Because if you're doing that, you will have a better understanding of the issue that the topic directs you towards, and you'll also have sort of general real world examples that you can draw on. Because remember, in a secret topic, nobody's going to be able to draw on Google to assist them in finding really specific examples. So it's up to you to have a really sort of broad general knowledge and understanding of current world events and society. So that brings me to another suggestion around how you might actually go about presenting your speech. So if you are in a situation where you don't have any specific evidence to support you, and hopefully you've been getting into the habit of using specific evidence in your prepared topics, you can always provide further analysis. So further reasoning, further explanation why this might be the case. You can use hypotheticals and analogies as well. They can be a form of evidence and a really useful form of evidence in secret topic debating. So, suggesting why this might be the case, coming up with a hypothetical or imaginary person who's been put in the situation that you are talking about, suggesting what is likely to happen or why reason and logic supports that what you are proposing is likely to be correct or likely to be the case. And again, the more you practice that, the better that you will become at it. So speaking of practice, I have prepared some practice topics for you that you can use with your teams to prepare if you wish. The first is that Australia should reintroduce the death penalty. The second is that Australian police should cooperate with law enforcement agencies of countries which have the death penalty. And the third is that we should ban fast food. So have a go with your teams with practicing that topic, meet with your coach, discuss, practice, and good luck.